Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I want to share my tarot journey online, so I appreciate any support that comes my way. Before I get into the reading, I want to talk a brief overview of what tarot is and my process with these readings. I think there's a lot of misconception because of the media or how it was demonized by different religions. So I want to dispel the fears because the landscape of tarot has changed. It's actually changed to more about self-development, more so than I've noticed. So firstly, tarot is a process of storytelling, and we're accessing mythic thought. It's a free association of the mind, and it allows you to break through rational, linear thinking. To me, it's another form of consciousness that we're engaging in. So I consider tarot a tool for self-development or soul development rather than focusing on divination. Because fate is dynamic and we have free will. We can change the outcome by making different decisions, and that's the beauty of our own free will. Readings can offer a broader perspective on the patterns that are going on in our lives. A tarot reading is all about intention and energy. This process, I believe, is tapping into information where our thoughts and our questions carry an energetic signature with it. And by looking at the cards, archetypes, and symbols, we're tapping into that pattern of energy that's around us. So you might find synchronicities in readings and start to open up your awareness where you find coincidences going on in your life that you can't quite explain. And it's beyond just you trying to find that information, right? Because that's a bit different when you're priming your brain to look for it, whereas something happens repeatedly and it's almost like it's shown up at your doorstep, Let's say, for example, what synchronicity is. Let's say you are at a restaurant with a friend making a big life decision like moving to Oregon. And as you're talking, the waiter comes up and says, "Oh, our special today for a wine special is sourced from Oregon." And I'm like, "Oh, that's odd." And then you go on your way out as you're leaving the restaurant and you overhear a distant conversation of this couple that just returned from a recent trip to Oregon. And then you get in your car and you notice the license plate literally in front of you says Oregon. And this is where you start to see these little breadcrumbs that the universe is leaving for you to just kind of give you clues that, hey, you're in a right direction, or trying to steer you into something that you've been wanting, but you haven't gotten past your logic mind, but your heart knows a different answer. And so that's just an example of synchronicity at work. So you might find that happening in readings, and it's fun. And to me, that's where I start to feel connected to these experiences and to life at large when you see these patterns emerging. Now, a quick disclaimer that I suggest is that these readings be taken with a grain of salt. We shouldn't be giving our power away. We should feel empowered to make our own choices, not giving it away to a tool or a piece of cardboard. So yeah, always trust yourself, trust your gut if something resonates with you, and don't try to force anything. Don't try to force it to fit if it doesn't fit. I think you'll have, again, when you start developing your intuitive connection, you'll start to trust your gut on where you need to be going. So that's my only disclaimer before you engage in these. So the inspiration for today's reading is messages from the mermaids and what is opening up on your path. Now I chose mermaids because I've been visiting the beach all summer, more than I've ever gone in my adult life. I've been meditating by the ocean and feeling connected to the water, and it got me thinking about how large bodies of water have captivated human imagination. Countless folklore and myths have existed for thousands of years, reporting on mermaids being featured across all different cultures around the globe. So if you've ever felt tapped in to that mermaid energy, a lot of the symbolism behind that, you could be reconnecting with your inner child, your intuition, the feminine. There's also this great allure of the unknown, and not to mention embodying transformation, since the mermaids had the ability to go from land to sea, sea to land. So keep that in mind as we venture into this reading. Now, with that being said, let's get into it and see what the mermaids have to say. All right, this is your first time to a pick a card reading. How this works is there are 3 piles to choose from. So whether you're going to be group 1, group 2, group 3, depending on your intuition, where do you feel drawn? You could either use the backs of the decks to help guide you, or the crystals. This is Amazonite. This is Aventurine. This one, I can't remember. It's blue. So those either way can help you tap into your intuition, and then you could also just ask internally, ask for guidance, which image pops up in your mind's eye. That could also help, or what number pops up in your mind's eye, and then that's going to correspond with your message. So each of these decks will be used in each of the readings. I'm going to shuffle once I get started and see what messages come out that are tailored to that specific group. One disclaimer is this is a general reading, and take what resonates, leave the rest. Some messages might not be for you. It might be for someone else. So don't try to make it fit. If it's something you know that that doesn't apply to my life, that's okay. That's probably for somebody else. So you just really go into these and open yourself up with curiosity and see where the kernels of truth might be in each of these piles. All right, so we're going to get into group number 1. Group number 1, you chose the Sacred Destiny Oracle and the Amazonite crystal. So like I was saying, I'm going to take from all 3 of the oracle cards and see what messages will come out for you and what messages the mermaids have to say. Whoop, that's too many. Let's do just one, please. What messages do the mermaids have to say and what's opening up on your path? That one wants to come out. Then let's take from the Healing Waters Oracle. Oh, that one. Oh, you got 2. Okay. And then this, I believe, is the Power of Surrender. Ooh, you also got 2 cards there. And then after I look at these, we're also going to look at the Mermaid Tarot afterwards. All right, so our first card is Forgiveness. And our next one is Ride the Waves, Life Lessons and Growth. You will get through this. Beautiful. And we have gentle force, consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. And then we have surrender to spirit. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. And surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. How funny. Gentle force. Ride the waves going with the flow. Okay, we're already seeing a lot of water imagery here. Okay, so I'm getting the image of a wave crashing on a person or on me, and then another wave, I get up, and then another wave crashes, get up, and then another wave crashes. So you may have recently have gone, or maybe been for a while now, have been going through really tough challenges, and you're on that verge of defeat, of like, how much more can I take of this? It's too much. It's so overwhelming. And what Spirit wanted to remind you is, first of all, you have so much potential to be gained through this process. It's just a matter of perspective of what tools we need to start accessing to get through and make it through these challenges or lessons. So you could either be trying to get back on track with a goal, or maybe there's some events happening at work or your business, maybe some family relationships or intimate relationships that just constantly sees a lot of difficulties and obstacles. Where do you start to notice the triggers that come up? I think that's where your answer is, where the medicine is, because it's touching on a wound every time you're being challenged, every time anything of uncertainty comes in, or a difficult personality comes in, or just connections that aren't working out, usually steers us into our own patterns, how we respond, how we're acting. I'm getting this sense with this forgiveness card that maybe there have been some patterns in your past, some unhealthy recurring themes that keep going on, and maybe these challenges are coming in to finally break free of that. It's kind of like stuck in the karmic wheel. We're repeating behaviors, repeating decisions, and we're really not breaking through to these more healthy mindsets or healthy relationships. And it's teaching us, where do we need to discard our energy of what's not serving us anymore. So it's like something's is blocking your energy from their past, and that's connected to these challenges that are coming up. Yeah, it's like something with the energy of forgiveness. Maybe there's somebody in your past that you haven't quite forgiven, or something you've done, and you just have this level of self-forgiveness. What it's going to do is I feel like this is the medicine, to be honest. Something about this energy is going to play a big part in shifting the energy of these challenges. Because sometimes what it does is it's kind of like carrying this dead weight with us when we're carrying this unresolved conflict, unresolved tension. And this is going to take some, inner soul work, especially with the moon here. It talks about the intuitive sides, our deep emotional experiences that we're carrying around with us and maybe getting projected or mirrored back to us through these conflicts, through these challenges, because ultimately our experiences shape us. So it's meant for you to access your inner tools. You're ready. This is something that's been a long time coming. The important thing too, what's funny is like you don't have to do more. Actually, I think it's probably the opposite in a very, it was just going to sound like a paradox. You're like, what? Well, who's going to do it, you know? But with the surrender to spirit and surrender to effortlessness, it's not so much, you know, obviously we see with gentle force, consistency, persistence, patience, you still do the things, do the responsibilities you're there to do, but what's the energy or the emotions that are attached to that? Are we unnecessarily worrying or putting more gravitas into something that in reality, in all honesty and humbly, did it need to be that big of a deal? Did it need to be that drawn out? Did we need to obsess over it? And that obsession, that judgment, either outward or inwardly, may be tied into this forgiveness energy that's trying to break through. I also wanted to look at the back of the decks. Sometimes I look at that as give us a bit, some clarity on the information coming in. So the back of this deck says, Atlantis, keep the big vision. Stay in alignment as you grow. Yeah, you're learning how to navigate these rough waters, how to surf the waves instead of reacting to it and getting to this point of burnout and exhaustion. It's teaching you to slow down, bring your energy back into calm. That way we can start accessing creative ways. Do I need to set boundaries with certain people because I keep getting the same experience over and over again? Or do I need to soften my edges? Am I too intense with certain individuals and I keep getting these disruptive conflict coming out of it? So yeah, there's definitely coming back into harmonizing your emotions so that way we can think more clearly and we can take on these big waves, and eventually it's gonna smooth out, especially when it says you will get through this. This is a temporary situation, and just you showing up, you putting in what you need to put in more without overdoing it is going to make a big difference. And then the back of the other deck is surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. So there might be a message about control. Some of us, I think a lot of us, I do too, we want to control things because it gives us some foundation, some stability, a sense of stability. So when these obstacles come in and they throw away life's plans that we had, it creates chaos, and it's really difficult to come back into balance. And so it might show up in unhealthy ways where you're unknowingly, you might not be aware of it too. I think all of us get into this at some point where we're not listening to the other person that does have something of value to say, or we try to make the decision for them because we think we know best, but we don't let them either make their own mistakes, or obviously within reason. If this is like, this is a company, we're gonna lose all the money if they let this person who's inexperienced do it. Obviously, you know, lean into your intuition, but other ways, maybe do a little self-check-in to just see, where are we being rigid? Where are we being, this is where we're talking about softening the edges. Maybe we're being a little too harsh, and we have our guard up, we're defensive, we're lashing out because we're not in a good space, understandably. But doesn't give us a license to either attack people or just not let them take the lead. I think that might be a message for someone out there. And then we have illumination. Okay, something's coming in soon that is going to illuminate and break free the fog and give you some kind of clarity about what to do next, where you need to go next. And this is why I think Spirit, Surrender to Spirit card is associated with that. And that serving of a reminder that it's not all just you doing this. I know it feels that way. In a lot of ways, we take responsibility for accountability for our actions, but there's so much outside of our control. And that's where we need to lean in and ride those waves. And you're going to feel so much more peace too when we practice letting go and practice surrendering. You're going to see major improvements too. I think it also contributes to the energy that you attract when you step into these spaces of peace and healing. But that might be a big reason why these challenges are coming in, because that's a practice we need to start implementing and getting us to look at some old wounds that are coming out in unhealthy ways. And one thing to keep in mind, I know that's probably like, oh, this is a big challenge. The experiences that you're going through, they seem pretty heavy, but the people I know who are the most compassionate, who have the biggest perspective on life and full of wisdom, and I just feel safe in their presence, usually have gone through some of the hardest hardships in their life. Sometimes I'll just be like shocked when I find out their past, and I'm like, you went through that and you're the biggest sweetheart. You're the one who's so mindful of what's right and how to take care of others. And usually that sense was developed because they went through a lot of these hardships. So there might be something there to just kind of keep in mind that while you're going through this, it is shaping you, it's guiding you into something bigger, something more beautiful, more pure. Let's see what the other cards have to say. Let's get a little more clarity about what this is, what you're going through. So this is my Mermaid deck. Oops, that one. So I'm gonna move these out of the way. What do we need to know about this? Okay, so we have the star. Oh, okay. And 3 of Wands. Oh, okay. 8 of Swords. Ooh, yeah, lots of anxiety. Okay, so definitely I feel... Oh, let me see. First, and the Chariot. Nice. Very nice. Okay. So whatever situation you're in, I know you probably feel trapped. You don't see any solutions. Every route you've taken just didn't yield any results, or you just haven't seen it come into fruition yet. And I'm getting this reluctant energy of, well, what else do I do? I've tried everything. And this is where that skill set that you're developing on going within, looking at your own wounds, because the sword energy, it's a very mental energy, and it's a difficult energy sometimes too. It pokes at our own wounds. So the way that this fell under forgiveness, and with the blindfold on, it's like this is a time to reflect, self-reflect, go within. Let's look at those patterns. Every time you're getting triggered, what did that trigger teach you? What was the message? It's like data coming in, and all those emotions that are erupting in you. Really start asking those questions, because it's going to start giving you little clues into where you need to go next. And I'm looking at the magnifying glass here. The Three of Wands is about expansion. Lots of creative energy being focused in this one focal point here. I see you looking, concentrating on a solution. You're going to get a solution out of this, and it's coming in soon. Because remember we had the illumination card? Yeah. When you start looking at these triggers, these wounds, these old patterns that are emerging or coming up, when you go into those corners of the mind, it's like, there it is. There's the answer. And that's going to illuminate something for you. And now it's going to give you, shift your perspective. Your focus is going to be more refined. It's going to help you know where the next part to go. And with the Star card, which is a beautiful energy of hope, I'm being drawn back to, you will get through this, and let spirit work its magic for you. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of good coming in. And it's co-creating with you. So this is why you tapping into that energy is so important for yourself, not just for your peace of mind, but it does shift events around you. I don't think we realize that. We're not as in tuned with that as much as how our internal energy mirrors in our external world. And things are drawn into us. Experiences are drawn to us because of our internal energy. So the Star, there's a lot of beauty coming in. A lot of tranquility and peace coming your way too. Something you've been hoping for. Now that you have this focus of mind, focus of intention that's focused on your expansion, because the Three of Wands is all about your expansion. You're opening up your energy to draw in the thing that you've really been desiring, but you weren't aligned with that desire. What that desire you were hoping for required a certain frequency, or it required a certain skill set, a certain frame of mind, a certain framework, that maybe that was the growing pains you were meant to go through. Because if you got what the thing you're asking for, you wouldn't even know how to handle it. You wouldn't, or it could have been sabotaged. Essentially, it's just getting out of your own way and learning that a big part of the equation is letting these bigger forces at work take care of you, because it's being heard, they are listening. And if you do your part, they'll do their part. And there's a sense of relief when you truly connect to that understanding and that perspective. That not everything has to be on your shoulders, even though it may feel like that. Yeah, gosh, I keep getting drawn into this Star, and that's exactly what the Star card is, just talks about. The universe is answering your call. Now, when I say this too, it may not show up in the way that you thought. It may be, it's possible, exactly how you thought things would play out. And that could be, let's say, a relationship you're manifesting, either with one person, or maybe it's through somebody else that comes along, that's what they're planning for you, or maybe a job that you were hoping to get, but it could show up as another job offer comes along the way that's lined up better for what is best for you, or a business opportunity, or whatever. There's a whole host of other possibilities. So that's why keeping an open mind and keeping our energy open and not be attached to the results, because it is coming, but we may just not know yet what form it's going to show up in. And what's beautiful back of the deck energy is the Chariot. So this is going to give us a sense of direction now and not feeling so stuck. The Chariot is our conscious drive, our ambition to take a direction, to go in a certain direction, feel motivated. Knight of Cups, the Magician. Yeah, so you're definitely going after, it's giving you, once you go through this inner transformation, you will have that motivation to go chase after the thing that you've been wanting. The path will become more clear. The obstacles won't be so intense. So it is a little bit of waiting for the right timing, but it is on its way. It is being orchestrated. So definitely trust in that, and building that trust is so important to this process on top of the emotional healing. So next I want to see what kind of guidance we can get. I want to use our Beyond Lemuria deck. There's a lot of mermaids, Atlantis energy in this. So Spirit, let's see. What guidance? Oh, that came out. Oh, radical expansion. We were just talking about expansion with this card. How cool. That's beautiful. Look at her heart. Her arms are like, I'm free. Actually, both of these, if you notice, both of their hands are up. It's like that moment of surrender. The moment you just say, I'm giving this to the universe. I'm giving this up to God. I'm giving this up to the angels, to whoever it is you pray to. That's where the magic happens. That's where you've opened up energetically and can allow new possibilities to come in. So I see you having a paradigm shift. This new perspective or series of perspectives that you're going to be gaining when you engage in this work, by the way, it's not just coming into your lap. There is, again, I want to emphasize that part is like, continue that showing self-love, looking at our old wounds, noticing the triggers every time they come up, and say, ooh, hi, anger. What do you have to teach me? Or, oh, hi, sadness. What do you have to teach me? So you just engage with it. The more you engage with that and heal that part of you and keep your energy open, this is that radical expansion that's coming in. You're going to be living more authentically. You're going to be so connected to your heart. Others are going to feel there's going to be a ripple effect too from that. And then that's when we're going to start drawing in those better experiences. Things are going to start working itself out. Life's going to be a little bit easier too when we're shifting into that energy and aligning with that energy. I want to read from the book on the radical expansion. It is time for expansion. You can be as big as your energy wants to be. Stop and consider anything that is holding you back. This card is the permission slip that allows you to let go of limiting stories and take up all the space you need. Have fun unleashing who you are. As bold and radical as some of your ideas or offerings might be, who is to say they are not what the world is waiting for, what the world wants? Take note of any judgment or authentic expression towards yourself or others. Be mindful that creatively exploring unrefined expression may be what is needed right now. Remember to center yourself in your heart and be the masterpiece your soul always wanted you to be. Wow, how beautiful. I love how that ended. I love that this is coming into more of who you are. This is going to be, you're not going to be thrown into so much chaos from your mind. Because a lot of water imagery, I'm thinking of waves crashing on the shoreline. It's like the turbulent waters of our mind in reaction to events. So by you learning to surf those waves, it is opening the vistas, the way that you respond to life. And all of a sudden your experiences are going to change. Your reality is going to shift because of that. You're going to feel more at peace, and you're going to feel more of who you are. So, oh wow. All right. Big energies for you, but it's beautiful. Your transformations that are coming out of this is going to be very exciting. I'm excited for you in your process of healing. I hope these messages resonated, or there was at least a nugget of something in there that could have shifted in you. But that concludes your reading. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, Group 2. This is the pile you chose, which is the Healing Waters Oracle. Now, like I said in the beginning, I will be using all of the 3 decks for this reading. And then let's just get right into it. Let's see what the mermaids. Ooh, okay, there's 2. What's opening up on your path? So you've got 2 cards. I've been intending to do only 1 card, but pile 1 also had 2 cards jump right out, just like you. Okay, so first one we have the Healing Lagoon. Rejuvenate, recovery, time to heal. It's safe to stop. The Pearl. Alchemy, the reward at the end. From grit to grace. Beautiful. Okay, now let's see. Back of the deck says, thank you, gratitude, appreciate what's sustaining you. And then from the Sacred Destiny Oracle, I was meditating on this group right before it started to separate from group 1, and I asked maybe what the energy for this one might be, and I heard the word love, and then this came out. So cool. All right, focus, move. And then we have the Power of Surrender cards. Ooh, okay, that one's jumping. Surrender your ego. Cultivate gratitude. How funny, this card also said gratitude. Be of service to others and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. Okay. Back of the deck for that one. Surrender stress. Oh, a lot of people. We're all going through it. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. Okay, group number 2. I'm getting the sense that you're coming back down from a period of intense activity, like kind of like you're near the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel. This is the aftermath of some intensity, like either through training, some intense study or working through the maybe the lungs, the rungs of the ladder. It's And this could be work related. This could be, I'm also getting physical body. Maybe you've been putting a lot of time and work, feeding your body the right things, working out, maintaining a healthy body, especially because I'm noticing his muscles. And then I also noticed with, releasing tension you've built up in your body, and with the focus card. So that might be a message for someone who's been, putting in those goals, putting in the work for that. But whatever case it may be, I'm getting this feeling of you've built up this momentum to the point where now you're in overdrive. It's like go, 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 go. And you're constantly, it's nonstop. We're not taking breaks. And it's possible we're getting to this point of burnout, or you're headed towards that direction. With the surrender stress, it's being mindful of coming back into your body. This is your vehicle, and we need to pay attention to any signs that's telling us we need to slow down and rest. Take a break. Everything is fine if you just let it be for a moment. With the healing lagoon, rejuvenate, recovery, time to heal. Yeah, you need this downtime, this rest. This is where that sense of peace is coming in. Maybe look at the things that you've gained, because I feel like after this period, maybe you've already started to see some rewards or some achievements come in, or maybe you're just in a good place with some of your connections, and we're seeing this gratitude. Appreciate what's sustaining you. So taking this downtime to reflect on those things. I am getting a sense of we might be taking things for granted a little bit with surrender your ego and cultivate gratitude. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. So this might be talking about, maybe we felt competitive. This is where our sense of drive came from, where we felt ambitious to get things done, but maybe not being as self-aware of who we were, what toes we were stepping on to get there, or just where were we sourcing that confidence, of like sometimes people will, they know that having that confidence will get them far in life, but maybe we're sourcing it from ego, where it's like, well, I'm the best. Nobody can do the way I can do it. I'm better than, it kind of comes off as I'm better than everybody else. And then the behaviors associated with that kind of thinking can be sort of destructive. And it's important to notice where we're sourcing our confidence. Are we sourcing it from a place of love, of gratitude, that everybody gets a seat at the table, everybody wins, everyone's on their own journey, I have a spot in life where I can feel fulfilled and accomplished. I don't have to worry that someone's going to steal it from me or take it from me, because that stress is feeding this ego. Well, it's not going to get done. You won't get there. You won't make that money. You won't get that job. You won't get that position unless you're no top dog. Healthy, obviously a little healthy competition or a little healthy ambition is good, and knowing and trusting in yourself that like, oh, I can accomplish this task. But the tune, notice the tune of that. I'll listen to the internal voice, and we won't be aware of what that voice sounds like until we're having downtime to listen and alchemizing. So you're transforming that energy, noticing again, like I said, where are you sourcing that internal voice? Where is it coming from? How can we shift it? And by shifting it, this is why the energy of gratitude, it's not just some fluffy hippie nonsense. It really changes your nervous system, changes and it reacts to it. Your way you speak with people, the way you feel about yourself, it's hard to describe. When you're in that state and that energy of just gratitude and still making your goals, still making your accomplishments, but you're sourcing it from the more self-love, healthy love, it's such a peaceful, it's a much more, it has much more depth to it than you can get from this self-obsession kind of ego. I also get like with the, just to watch out for. I'm not like you are that person. I just think that it might be easy, it might be tempting, especially with social media, and we're all such a culture of like self-absorption and selfies and whatnot. We mistake I don't know. I notice like self-validation is becoming a heavy thing for people because we're not sourcing our own self-love. We're not sourcing our confidence from a space of internal worth. We're looking out for external things to feed that, to fill that void, to fill that sense of love. Let's see what else is going on. I want to get the Mermaid Tarot cards. Let's see, what is this about? What can you tell us about the energy here? Okay. We've got, I'm gonna move this. Give me one moment. All right, so the Hierophant, the Four of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. Okay, I'm getting some first impressions, but I do want to clarify a little bit. Oh boy, we're getting the Judgment card on the back of the deck. All right, can you please explain the Hierophant card, please? Hierophant card, can you please clarify the Hierophant card? Pile 2, Hierophant. Okay. 6 of Cups. Interesting. Okay. 4 of Pentacles, please clarify. Knight of Cups. 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords. Oh gosh, too many. Sorry. Let's do that again. Please clarify the 7 of Swords. Okay. Ooh. Nope. 3. That's so funny. Those were the same 3 cards that wanted to come out. Okay. We've got the 3 of Wands, 2 of Wands, and the 2 of Swords. Okay. There's a big message about going back and looking at beliefs, some traditions, some family traditions, maybe our past, maybe there's some ancestral patterns growing up, because the 6 of Cups is about childhood, nostalgia. Look how they're playing, a bunch of young kids playing around. Underneath the Hierophant card, which is traditionally talking about tradition, It could be some kind of orthodox thinking, going into our past, our recorded history. So that's directing me about where this is coming from. There's some message about exploring something in childhood because there was a set of beliefs or programming that set the stage for this ego energy. And this is just an aspect. I really want to hone that in because I don't want to sound like this is who you all are as a person. There's just Spirit is taking this opportunity to say, like, we just need to address something right now. There's aspect that needs to be explored, because if we continue down this path, it's going to cause some complications later on. So it's like nipping it in the butt now and saying we need to look at this. The Four of Pentacles usually it's a card of kind of boredom, being contained, being restrictive with what we give. Ultimately, I see it as a card of scarcity too, because we don't think we'll have enough, so we can't give it away to others. So that scarcity, again, with the whole ego thing, ego believes in scarcity. That, well, there won't be enough for me, so I better not share with anybody else. Or, and that, again, it can manifest in so many ways, so I'll leave that as open-ended as possible. Interestingly, she's holding a hairbrush, and then this reminds me of the Greek mythology, Narcissus. It's like narcissism. Yeah, I'm really getting this energy of of our looks, our appearance, maybe this obsession with it. There could be something in childhood that connected us to that. There's a deeper message in there. Maybe we didn't feel worthy. We didn't feel confident in how we looked, or what status we had. Maybe we're attached to status and we're chasing status because we think we'll finally get to fill that sense of deep love, self-love that it's possible. And this is just a message for some people, but it's possible that there's something and that is directing you to your childhood. Either there were experiences that happened that made you believe that you didn't have access to this unless you took care of those outer appearances and chased after these external things. But with the Seven of Swords energy, this is a card of deception, like misperceiving, taking things, taking our beliefs, kind of like a misguided belief, sort of, so to speak. And I feel like this is more of a subconscious thing, not like you're out here trying to do that to people or anything, but there is an aspect of a subconscious belief where, yeah, I'm looking at this volcano. It's like a warning of like why it needs to be addressed. Two of Swords, that competition, there it is. It's like I have to compete with others. On the one thing, it gives us that ambition, especially with the Wands energy, and maybe that's how you've gotten far, like I wouldn't have gotten this far in life unless I had that kind of attitude or left that approach to life, but it's ultimately not serving us. And I think that's the message why we're seeing the Rejuvenate Recovery card and Heal. You're safe. It's okay. You are so loved. You are so worthy just by who you are. Just, you have a right to that. Yeah, really just taking that time, putting the swords down, putting the wands down and saying like, okay, let me see how I can start transforming this energy. When you start to transform it, you know, from grit to grace, reward at the end. Yeah, it's like the pearl. Okay, I want to get a little bit more to see what happens when you work through this energy, when you start shifting, when we look at those patterns and make those adjustments, and we're, instead of in competition mode, we're in a space of love and self-love, gratitude. Let's find out. What would be, oh my gosh, not really. Let's ask the question. What's waiting for group 2 on the other side of this once they reach this space of surrendering the ego? We have Six of Swords. It's a card about transition. Nine of Wands. Okay. Oh yeah, that's definitely almost reaching to the end of a cycle. Maybe this has been something you've been working through. It's not so much that you're not aware of it, it's something that you've been. Maybe there was a family pattern and dynamic you've always noticed and wrote itself into your subconscious, and then you're like, why am I doing this? I don't agree with it. I don't align with it anymore. So you are taking this time to rest, to ask questions and look at that self. Ask the deeper parts of the self, the child self. Because with the Nine of Wands, it tells me that you're at the end of the tunnel there, and that Six of Swords is this transition that you are, you know, you're moving into calmer waters, because this probably was something that was, you always noticed it was weighing you down, and, you know, like, I can't keep moving forward if I, you know, resort back to these patterns. So I have to address that. And so that healing space, this healing time is saying like, oh yes, it was so necessary and so important for you. So let's see what else. What's gonna come out of this? Okay, everybody come out. Back of the deck, the Page of Wands. First, what came out was Seven of Cups. That looks like Ariel's grotto. Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. And this one always talks about the individual who has to face all of these options in life. Do we chase after the shiny things, the high status, material obsession, or do we chase after things of higher value or spiritual value, and something that really gives us a deep sense of fulfillment rather than more shallow things? So it seems like that was something you had to confront on this journey. Ooh, okay. You have the Ace of Swords, so yeah, definitely a breakthrough to finally break through that mental pattern. You can see through it. Now you have an awareness of it. You have the ability, and others too, to perceive when they're acting in their ego. And you know how to handle it better. You know how to make different choices because you've moved past it. You've moved beyond that. And the Star is an energy of hope, of the universe aligning events to bring you what you've been desiring all this time. Because you've aligned your energy with that space of self-love, of self-fulfillment, that you didn't need external validation, that was always within you this whole time. The universe is now like, now you're ready to give the gifts that you've been waiting, that you've been asking for. And here's our Queen of Wands. She's a badass lady. She holds so much power. Look at the volcano, the lava that comes out of her. She's real power. That power that we've been chasing was only being able to access when we got into a space of gratitude, of internal love. You didn't need other people's opinions. You were sovereign. You've reached your own capacity for spiritual sovereignty. Your own sense of self has been better established now. And that just amplified your presence, so that way when other people are around you, they feel that magnitude. There's a powerful energy around you. It's not, and this is something that fake confidence can't give. Many people try to imitate that because they see people in power, and they try to mirror it, and they might get by for a little bit, but then they ultimately crash and burn. But this is like the eternal fire. This is the Hawaiian goddess Pele. So you're definitely transforming into this beautiful energy of this powerhouse. Oh yeah, that's awesome. You can do so much. So much. You're going to move internally. You'll be more at peace. You'll be able to understand, have a bigger perspective of things when you move through life, especially with the Page of Wands, which is a very curious energy. And ultimately that's, I see the Fool underneath it. Yeah, you have this, when you're accessing a childlike, curious energy, you're seeing opportunities more than others. You're going for it. And when we're operating from that space, that's the power of the Queen. It's maintaining that loving, childlike sense of awe. And, what do you think about this? Let's do this. You're more inspired, and people want to hear that. People gravitate to that more so than trying to go for some kind of narcissistic energy. And people feel that really, really easily. So, no, I'm really impressed. This was a big turnaround, and it really just hit me where I was like, wait, you are already moving through that. There's already an awareness of that for you. So that's really exciting. Lastly, I do want to grab from my Beyond Lemuria deck just an overall energy guidance here on out. Whoops. Okay. Oh, vulnerability. That's the secret. I love that. That's so perfect for all of this. This is what breaks putting that guard up, keeping that guard up with everyone, making it look like you're tough, or anybody that does that, it's being so authentically honest with yourself. Like, you know what? I don't even care what other people think of me, I'm going through a tough time. I trust myself that I'll make it through, and, instead of the rat race of trying to prove yourself to anybody. It's when people feel someone's vulnerability, that's the secret weapon. It is okay to feel all those emotions that people put down all the time, because I think there was this overly masculinity side of things where it's like, you look weak if you show your emotions, but that's the secret sauce. This is the secret sauce to get into this kind of energy, is by being vulnerable. And I want to read out of the book real quick. So this is talking about real strength, holding space, healing past wounds, accepting yourself as you are, sharing from the depths of your heart, removing your armor. I'm going to skip to a few paragraphs. It is easy to armor ourselves from the harsh truths that may be too painful to bring to the light of day. However, this causes great suffering as buried pain becomes shadows. Unprocessed negative experiences can incarnate as much more troublesome traits or insecurities than their origin. When we are truly honest with ourselves in all our facets, we are vulnerable. That honesty is an important step in discovering our shadows and bringing them into light for healing. Furthermore, when we share our vulnerabilities with others, we allow them to glimpse a deeper part of ourselves. This is a fertile soil for trust. It plants the seeds for others to share the places that are most raw or tender for them. Our closest friendships can be formed in this space. Be vulnerable with yourself or others. It may also be time to step into the role of healer and hold space. Holding space means being fully present without judgment in a way that provides a safe and nurturing environment. In this place, guards can be dropped and a deeper level of awareness and relating can unfold. Enabling unconditional love and acceptance allows for vulnerabilities to be expressed, for the core of dis-ease to be discovered, and for profound healing to take place. Woo! Wow, that's a big energy to transmute, especially when things like maybe from families or friends or the media have taught us how to be, and it can be confusing, and we are not really taught how to access our inner truth, our inner core. So this is beautiful. I love that you're shifting into this, or have already started to shift into this, because it is attracting all of these beautiful experiences to you. So, and with that, I'll see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello, group 3. This is your reading. You chose either the blue crystal or the Power of Surrender cards. And I will be using all of the decks that were at the beginning in the intro. So let's start off with this deck and see what messages are coming up from the mermaids and what's opening up on your path. Surrender to joy. Oh, I love it. That's a good one. All right, so a key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and easy times. Keep surrendering to more joy. So it may sound very fluffy and like simple, but it's such a key feeling when we're going through difficult times. I feel like this is the most difficult energy to switch into when we're going through certain challenges, and it requires a sort of surrender. One thing I do whenever I'm going through a really, really difficult, hard time, and my mind is so tempted to slip into the victim consciousness, like, why is this happening to me? There's just too much, I can't do this, why does life hate me? Like, what is the universe, what did I do wrong? And it just spirals. Instead, what I'll say is, to shift that energy, I'll say, how can it get any better than this? So it's kind of like a play on how can it get any worse? And now you're saying, how can it get any better? So you just say, yes, we're getting the good stuff. It's coming. So, and then I notice eventually it kind of pulls me out. It starts to pull you out of the negative mindset, and you start opening up to those more, what's referred to as like a higher vibrational energy. You're going to open up more possibilities in your life. You're going to see more options and ways to deal with these stresses and challenges, or ways to honor yourself the more that we invite joy back into our life. Like, I think it's so important to just as we invest in our in time in work or our relationships or finances or home, it's just equally important to invest in your experience of joy and what invites that energy in. That way your reality starts to shift. in accordance, in congruence with that emotion that you're tapping into. So that was just the first impression with that. Surrender to success. Okay, these are really positive messages so far. So we have, you are ready to experience abundance. Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities. Look at this card is also leaping. So yes, you're inviting more of this energy, or this energy is becoming more available to you, and it's you're being guided to really step into that energy more consciously. Even if it hasn't come up yet, even if you don't see the rewards yet, it's already embodying the feeling of success, the feeling of joy and peace. And it's kind of empowering you to take back your power and say, you know, I'm going through something really shitty right now, and I will have my pity parties. I will have my moments to connect to what emotions are coming, but I'm choosing not to stay there. I'm choosing to get back in touch with the beauty of life, to feel that connection again. And then you start seeing little synchronicities, people come along in your path to help you, which is really cool. I like that. So let's get the next card. I'm gonna get the Healing Waters Oracle. The other pile's got 2 cards, so I'll just do 2 as well for this group. Let's see, messages from the mermaids. What's opening up on your path? Whee! Oh, perfect. All piles naturally just got 2 cards. Okay. We've got, ride the waves. Life lessons and growth. You will get through this. I think group 1 had this too. That's so funny. So there's I think collectively there's been a common theme too. So if, you know, there was a different pile that got it, a lot of people are experiencing intense, hard lessons right now. Then we have plunge. Don't hold back. It's time. Go for it. Dive in. I love it. There's already dive in, take a leap. That's beautiful. Let me see what's on the back. You have the rainbow, sweet relief, new beginnings, a new way forward. See, this is what we're talking about with like inviting that energy in. There's a practicality to it. It's not delusion. It's not. I think that's an old way of looking at things, to take that pessimist half glass empty kind of outlook, because it's almost like you're calling that in, whereas this invites more beautiful experiences and abundance around you. Okay, there's something that you've been desiring, and you've probably been indecisive about it and keep going back and forth. And this, I'm going to be as broad and general as possible, because this could be about anything. It could be about a relationship, or it could be about a business opportunity, or going in another direction, a new goal, starting a new project. But maybe it's something so drastically, like I'm getting the sense that it's sort of nerve-wracking, and it doesn't feel in the more limited mind, it's not safe, or it doesn't feel safe to move in that direction. But it's more so, what I'm getting is that that's coming from the lack consciousness that what we've been conditioned to believe, like, oh no, you follow this path. This is what's gonna be the sturdy path. This is where you're gonna feel secure and safe, and it's your comfort zone. But sometimes we don't. I feel like so many of us have gone through this, where it doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit with your energy right. You're going by the book, but then now it's like, I feel like I'm meant for more. I feel like I'm being called over here, but this other thing might be so drastic to what you're used to. Or you may feel like you're very safe in one position. Like, let's say it's a job that you feel very safe and comfortable in, but there's another opportunity out there and you're not really quite sure if you should take it or not. Or maybe it's starting your own business or starting your own projects, and it is requiring a different life decision. And this is confirmation that if you've been receiving signs and you know in your gut, but your head, your mental mind hasn't caught up with what your heart knows and it's blocking you, you're being invited. And I think this new energy that's coming in is going to help you see that this is the right choice. This is the right direction. What you feel deep down that's been calling you. There's new experiences that want to come in for you, and probably something you've been desiring as well. So it's trusting that, and don't miss this opportunity. Don't miss that window, because that will be a good time to get involved with this new thing that you're getting involved in. Let me get another card. I'm going to pull the Sacred Destiny card. Let's see if we can get any more information about what this new beginning is. Taking risks. That's awesome. Surrenders to success. Taking risks. I love that. Ooh, is that an eagle? They're normally known for having higher perspective, looking at it from a bigger lens. So not from the small self. The small self is like, oh no, I should stay here. I should stay where I'm meant to be. I know this is tried and true. Yet you don't feel, it doesn't feed your soul anymore. It's not soul nourishing you. And there's steps to do this. I mean, you don't have to I think this is always going to come down to your intuition. If it's something that you need to take baby steps towards, or you need to go in for a huge leap. For a lot of you, I feel like this is going to take just being that big risk taking, but everyone's going to have different situations. So if you feel like, you know what, I just need to take baby steps right now, take the baby steps. That in itself can feel like the big risk, the big take. Whereas others of you, maybe it's the right situation or the right conditions where, yeah, you can take the big risk, big leap. And you got focus. It's so funny. The other pile also got focus on the back. So notice there's a mountain, and we're seeing these cliffs. These usually symbolize the ascent, an ascension, a path to ascension. So whatever this big change is that's coming in for you, that wants to come in for you, it's going to expand your self, your soul's self. You're gonna acquire more experiences and gain a lot of wisdom through these. I'm getting the sense that you're gonna meet a lot more new people. Travel, I'm getting traveling too. So with focus, you may need to, like I was saying at the very beginning, having to tap into more of this energy of joy and success, connecting with that, because it'll start to unfurl questions and answers when you take that time to, especially because you see this picture where is it a snow leopard? Where they're alone. It's very solitary. It's a time to just really reflect, especially with the winter time. It's a moment to do some introspection, ask those deep questions that you've been putting off, or you've been distracting yourself, because this is a window of time that right now that's coming up for you, is the gateway for you to enter into this space. It's like, I'm getting the image of a current, like a wave, like the waves. And now I'm thinking of the sea turtle from Finding Nemo, and they go into that rip current, and then they're just being like, it's like the acceleration of their journey. They're now being transported to this other area of the ocean at a much accelerated rate than just the conventional, like, standard way of getting around. So I think right now with this surge of energy that you're coming into, this is why these messages are like, take the risk, take the plunge, because it's a good time to utilize that, to get to your expansion. Otherwise, it's not to say if you don't take the opportunity or you miss it, it's not going to come back again. It might well, but you don't know when that opportunity might be, when the conditions might be right. It will never feel right, but or you may never feel ready for it, but this is definitely giving a sense of like, it's time, let's go, let's do this, you're ready. Take that time that you need first to think it over a little bit, to get those answers. Don't distract yourself. Stay on top of what you need to be asking yourself, and then go for it. It's game time. So this is really exciting. I like this so far. Let me get I'm going to get the Mermaid Tarot, and I want to see a little more about what this is. It might be very broad in general just because everyone's going to have a different situation and it's going to mean different things for everybody. But I love that so far it's already, they're all saying the same thing. All right, what are the messages from the mermaids? Ooh, okay, that wants to come out. We have, let me show you. The King of Cups. Ooh, the King of Pentacles. All right. Hello, men. Let's see. The Two of Pentacles. Okay, that's way too many. Let's take that back. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, two cards. Ooh, okay. The Devil. And then Four of Swords. Then I'm gonna clarify these. So let's clarify the King of Cups. Two cards wanted to come out. We've got the King of Wands, the Four of Cups. A lot of masculine energy. Interesting. King of Pentacles. Which actually kind of makes sense because with taking risks, going in, actively making decisions is a very masculine energy in a more spiritual world. Spiritual world is very different from maybe like our modern era. I know it can be triggering for people to be like, it could be feminine energy, but when you're in this world of like the spiritual world, it's masculine and feminine energies don't translate to just genders. Everybody embodies masculine energy and feminine energy, and they have different expressions and each beautiful expressions. And we all embody this. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. All these men. Well, so Knight of Swords is clarifying the King of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, the Devil, we have 10 of Pentacles, Four of Swords, okay, that one's come out. Ooh, Judgment. All right. Okay, I'm gonna move these out of the way. Okay. So I might want to get clarity about these two kings, because either it could be a choice. There might be two masculine energies in your life, and maybe there's a certain choice you have to make between the two. So what's the energy between this? This is the Sun card. What's the energy between the two? Why is it here? Nice, the energy here. Ooh. We've got the Chariot. So like what direction you want to take. What's gonna bring in your ultimate fulfillment. Okay. Oh, okay, maybe that answers it. The back of the deck is the Lovers. Okay, so some of you, I think majority, maybe there's a love decision you have to make, or it could be about a choice, making a big decision, a big leap into some kind of risky direction that you've been sitting on and kind of stuck, not knowing, do I go and take that big risk? I don't really have any evidence yet that it will be worth it or worth my time and money and investment in that direction. So that could be what the Lovers stand for with that. The Lovers represents the astrological sign of Gemini, which does deal with making a big life decision. So those are the two energies I'm mainly picking up. So I'm going to read a bit for both. The first one I'm going to read for is the group where maybe it's a big decision in love that you have to take. I am seeing, since right off the bat, seeing these masculine energies, there could be a choice between two masculine figures in your life. This first masculine figure feels very emotionally mature, has a lot of emotional depth to him. I'm seeing this school of fish around him, and so he could be a teacher, a mentor, a counselor of some sort, or maybe just draws in a crowd, especially with the King of Wands highlighting this. It really feels to me that this is somebody who is magnetic, empathetic. A lot of people listen to this person's wisdom. They seem to help a lot of lost souls, or at least a good guide for them. The other aspect I could be picking up on is maybe somebody's person could have a drinking problem, possible, or just had past issues with that and had to really learn how to get themselves out of that tough spot and become ambitious and invest in their own future. And this is how they've developed their inner emotional maturity. So there's this high respect regarded into this person because they've been through the rungs of life. This person could be a water sign, so they could be either a Cancer, Scorpio, or, oh my god, why am I drawing? Pisces is the other one. So those are some signs. They could have long hair, they could have a beard, physically built, or just a very large presence that they embody. They could have tattoos. Yeah. They feel very protective, though. Like, their presence just feels very warm, very inviting. It's like, it feels safe to be around them. And on the other thing I'm picking up with this is that it's possible that they were, as far as approaching you, maybe they felt apathetic. I'm also seeing, like, I don't know, I'm drawn to this girl over here being like, are you gonna approach me or not? So maybe there's some hesitation. Maybe this person sees, again, I'm drawn into this whole crowd over here. Maybe you're surrounded by a lot of people, or surrounded by friends, family, or whoever. They may see other people interested in you, so that might be a reason why they kind of hold themselves back from approaching you, or at least being more direct and forward. So that's what I'm just getting first off with his first masculine energy. Now our next figure, he feels very much like he has his material sense, like a businessman, or at least has either a good profession or a good sense of stability, and he's very grounded, knows how to save, how to spend, how to make money, and King of Pentacles, so he could be an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Again, I'm seeing long hair. This beard could be a little more trimmed or well-groomed for this masculine. Doesn't have to, but maybe that might be a sign for somebody. He knows how to take opportunities and turn it into gold. I'm getting like King Midas. He knows how to see through things and make more money, or make a business opportunity or transactions. Like, he's very good with that sense. And with the Knight of Swords, highlighting that, he's very ambitious, go-getter, has a lot of ideas, probably very witty, but sometimes he could be a little bit cutthroat. He could be to the point where he's not as tactful with his words that he could be. I'm seeing this sharp blade, so maybe like a sharp tongue. And maybe that's some of his charm too. He could be a little bit impulsive, but in a good way. Doesn't come across as like a negative impulsiveness. Because if the energy between these two is the Sun, which is a very positive card, happy, joyful card, and then we're seeing the Chariot, it's like going in a certain direction. So, and that's the shared energy between these two, that you maybe feel like you might be in this space where you're juggling the two, or just haven't really decided, and probably very successfully right now. They do bring you joy. There's a sense of fulfillment with that, but I'm getting a sense that there's not much sustainability there, or at least trying to juggle those two. It's like there's like this feeling of, I have a decision to make with this, which path I want to go down, or which partner I want. Also, other scenario, maybe you're polyamorous, and so maybe you are balancing the two relationships or multiple relationships at once, and that seems to be working well, and it's something that, as long as everybody's aware of this, they seem to be a very successful part or connection for these two. With the Devil card, we may be worried or spending a lot of time, and this might be a time where you're being asked to look at the ways that your upbringing may be contributing to some limiting thought patterns or limiting beliefs. Maybe there's a fear of making a choice, and why we're in this stuck energy and not making that movement yet, to go after what it is that we want and brings us joy. There could be something tied in to the way that you've always looked at relationships and connections. Maybe there was a dysfunctional pattern in the family, and there could be some belief, some unconscious belief too, that says, this never works out, this never fares well for me, look at my parents, or look at my other family members, like it's just it never works out for you, so why would I want to deal with this heartbreak and pain? So we're kind of guiding our life decisions based off of this unprocessed pain, and not truly looking at what it is to say, is this bringing me happiness and joy? Or am I just making a decision because of all the pain I've endured? Which is completely understandable. We all do that. But it's taking this time to explore that, because there might be some dysfunctional beliefs about relationships and connections, healthy connections, and that you are capable of having that, and you are capable of attracting that kind of partnership. There's also a possibility that maybe the relationship you want is very unconventional, and that you're very much worried and concerned whether your culture or your family would accept this, whoever it is that you decide to go for. And that might be holding you back from making a decision or being more upfront and loud and proud about what you want to do, because you're worried about what the family is going to assume and what they're judge. So you're putting all this weight in and postponing a decision because you're spending too much time in worrying what others are going to think. And that's that devil energy, because it's not ultimately bringing us good. And if we try to live from that space of what everyone else is going to perceive of us, ultimately it's going to be our downfall. We're never really going to bring in that joy. No matter how much material wealth, like you see here, the devil, they're trapped, this mermaid's trapped. And what good is that to have all this wealth and status, living a lie, living this life that you're not even enjoying because you're concerned of how it's going to be perceived. So that's why we're getting these cards about surrender to joy, taking those risks. Listen to what it is that you truly want out of this situation and follow that. That is your bliss. And to highlight that, we have the Four of Swords, which is a card about taking that time out, explore, introspect, to see what it is, connect to yourself. With this Judgment card, it's like your inner soul, your inner voice is calling out to you, just that truly knows what it is that you want, and to take action on that. But you need that downtime to just be still, distill all of those thoughts, see where all of those thoughts are coming from, and that's where you're going to start to break down that pattern and challenge that pattern. So every time these thought ruminations come up that the devil card represents, interrupt it and consciously become self-aware to say, no, that's not what I want. Thank you for your concern. I'm going to do what's best for me and what is true to myself. And that's what the Judgment card is. It's that wake-up call. It's that kind of a rebirth as well. And it wakes us up to the truth of who we are. And so that's where that focus needs to be in this next stage, because overall there's a lot of happiness coming in. There's a lot of like joy. I mean, the whole, all those cards in the beginning were like guiding you, like, go do it. So I think that's what the mermaids have to say for you in this love situation. Going in that direction is to always come back to yourself, always come back to that inner space. You have answers waiting there, and keep chipping away, working out what those heavy, dense energies that are stopping you from making that decision of moving forward with whatever lover or whatever situation that you are embarking on. It seems to be which path you would like. You are supported by not just the spiritual realm and past off loved ones, but even in the community. Maybe you'll be surprised that the people you thought were going to judge you ended up being the most supportive ones. And we ended up making all of these arguments in our head, and when in reality, they were always there to support and love you from the get-go. And if they don't, if there's some that don't, which happens, they're on their own healing journey, and that's okay. We can learn to distance ourselves from those people and find our tribe. So that's what I'm getting for those in a love situation. This group, I want to pull a deck from the Beyond Lemuria deck and see what kind of guidance may come out on how to approach this decision that you have to make. Ooh, I think 2 cards just came out. You've got Earth Star Chakra, Initiation, Furred and Feathered Friends. That's really funny because, like, look in this card. They're all these little animals. There might be some messages that you might, or signs you might get from animals that you see in your daily life. If you see squirrels or raccoons, birds, pay attention. Sometimes what little signs, there might be a sign from spirit about that. So yeah, just something to take note of. Okay, I want to read the book about the Earth Star Chakra. With this initiation card, I'm getting mostly because with Judgment being here and that awakening process, I always think of that as a big leap, initiation into our own evolution. And so with this Earth Star Chakra initiation card, it's kind of guiding you into the next preparatory state you need to go into. By doing like meditations, any kind of energy work, if that's something you're familiar with or interested in. It says, find ways to balance your life. Look at, we had that with this little rabbit, to balancing out. Be aware of the times of the day that are more conducive to different states of consciousness, such as flow, meditation, and productivity. Yeah, because this is where you're going to get your answers when you're in these meditative states. And really part of your own growth, too, because I think it's not even just about the choice, it's about what you're gaining or what you're evolving with those decisions. Aspects of yourself that you're going to be exploring because of what these situations are bringing up for you. It says you're standing at a gateway into the unknown, and trust in your heart. You have access to the seat of creation, the spark of existence, and the codes that hold the blueprints of who and what you are. Exploring your inner world, seeing what comes up, that's being the highlight focus. So I don't think we'll get any answers here. That's your homework, is to go and to do some meditations, jot down, journal what you're feeling, what you're seeing. You're also going to get some signs and symbols from Spirit in the next coming week or so. Let's see, furred and feathered friends, animal spirit guides, have fun, and environmental awareness. Okay, really what I'm getting with this is there's a lot of wisdom with these animals and that you might encounter, and to study their traits or what messages they might mean for you. So either you see an actual physical animal in your life, or you dream of one, or you are you look at a billboard and there's this particular animal on there. If there's any, and maybe I'll put this closer. So if there's any animals right away that you just got drawn to, that might be a sign later on. So see if any of these pop up in your regular life. And see, and yeah, just explore what those messages might be. Sometimes it could be a thought that's occurring in your mind right at that moment. So like for me, what happens is when a synchronicity pops up, I'll immediately feel that moment of like, whoa, I just experienced that like the other day or whatnot. I'll try to pay attention to what I'm thinking about in that moment to see if that was a message in there. Like sometimes I'll be really in my head and then all of a sudden think of something inspiring or an idea that I have that I really want to do. And then all of a sudden a sign or a synchronicity will happen in that moment, like if I'm just walking around in my daily life. And it's really cool. It's fun. Play around with it. But so these are just some light messages to help give you some pointers, some guides and directions while you are meant to explore those inner spaces to help you with this decision that you're about to make. So, all right, this concludes your reading. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope that made sense for someone. Anyways, I hope you have a great day. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, now for my next group within this group, those of you who have a decision to make, like a life decision, and it's not necessarily about love. It could be a job, career, or maybe a business idea that you really want to take, and or maybe some kind of just broad experience, living situation. Maybe you want to move somewhere. Maybe you want to explore different sides of yourself. But whatever that decision is, it is so far out of left field of what you normally experience in your daily life, that it feels scary and it feels risky to do it. And I feel, and I keep getting drawn back to taking risks card. And I don't know, I'm going to put that a little more front and center. Okay, so firstly, I do see for you 2 masculine energies again, and these could be, I'm getting a sense of people in your life that are going to be that are already there in your life as a support network, or maybe one or the other or both of them are coming in that will help support you with this decision that you are undertaking. So this first masculine energy, and again, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, doesn't have to be those signs. He feels like some kind of mentor, a counselor. What I told the other group was that there's all these fish circling around him. So, and then I noticed with the King of Wands underneath that, clarifying this card, there were all these sharks in the water as well. So this masculine figure could be someone on your journey that helps you with balancing out and harmonizing your emotions, because the decisions that you're going to be making, the choices are going to require you to be from a balanced place. And so the King of Cups has that perspective, has a good grasp on his inner stability and emotional world to navigate these choppy waters, especially with the sharks. Maybe that's why things feel risky. These shark-infested waters, maybe it's a very competitive environment that you are going into. They feel cutthroat, and you're like, do I really want to go into that? I feel like a fish out of water. And so this masculine will help guide you, because while they do have this emotional side to them, that knows how to be diplomatic, how to be reasonable and connect from an empathetic level, they're also able to be a good motivator and a good guide and protector. I'm seeing him also maybe helping if there's any apathy. Maybe there's been a stuck situation in your life where you're like, I don't know where to go, or do I go do this thing? And so there may be some apathetic energy holding you back, not really taking the opportunities that are around you. Maybe you don't even see it. That's the thing. Like, look how his gaze, he's not even aware that there is an opportunity out there. So I feel like with the King of Wands energy right next to it, it's like he shines his light to say, look at all the opportunities around you, or this is how we're going to find those and illuminate these opportunities that you once couldn't even perceive. So that way we can take those steps towards that thing that you were desiring. So that's our first energy with this masculine. This other masculine, King of Pentacles, so it could be an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Could be a father figure, doesn't have to be. Could be someone from work or a partnership that comes in that'll help support you. This could also be some kind of financial advisor that will help with the, when I'm seeing this Knight of Swords, it's like this wave rushing in. So maybe there's a lot of like sudden upheaval or sudden actions that have to be taken. So he's a really great guide to help discern which is a good decision, which is the good route, how to not be taken advantage of. He's very stable, very grounded and practical, looks at the long-term costs of things. So these are very big, important energies to lean on in this next chapter of where you're headed, where you're going. Now, let's see. I see that you might be, it's not only that these are other people in your lives, but it's also something, what I'm picking up is a skill set you are also developing while being supported by these figures. So I'm seeing with the rabbit balancing and juggling priorities, but you're doing it very successfully, which is exciting. There's a lot of, with the Six of Wands, it's about victory and success. So while it may feel like a lot and you're constantly having to shift things around and one day put a lot of focus in the business aspect, another day put a lot into the emotional aspect or the creative aspects. And so while also maintaining bills, finances, family life, friend life, it can be a lot. And I do see that you are learning to take in these aspects of balancing your inner emotions. And when things do come up that would normally trigger you, you're learning how to ride that wave, literally ride the wave of those emotions. And then with the King of Pentacles, it's also navigating how to spend money, where to look for the opportunities, where to take those risks, because you're having these other guides that are training you and you're developing a better sense of that within yourself. This is giving you a good sense of direction and ambition, a sense of drive too, which is exciting, because maybe that's where that we feel frustrated that I haven't seen anything yet. I haven't it's like, yeah, I have these ideals of where I want to go, but I haven't really put a practical plan together. Well, that's where this is coming in, is like here now it's time for those practical plans to take off and take place and see the goals become more tangible. Now, with the Devil card and the Ten of Pentacles, maybe why this feels like a big risk is because it's so unorthodox. It's not traditional. Maybe you feel like you're going to be judged by others. I see all these family and elderly people and kids. So maybe family. Maybe you were told a lot of ideas about like, oh, that wouldn't work, or that's not a good idea. You should just stick to this tried and true path. And yet you know in your soul that this isn't where you want to be. It doesn't nourish, it doesn't feed you. But there could be some echoes from your community. And maybe not even family. It could just be our conditioning of our culture. There's that belief systems that we collectively all kind of unconsciously agree to. While it's one thing to admire those brave people that take risks, it's another thing where we all kind of parrot this idea of like, oh no, you should go follow the same path, or take that 9-to-5 job, or take that, or if maybe the family is like, we're always doctors, everyone in this family are doctors, you have to go down that path, whatever it may be. Something about that feels like it's trapped in your beliefs and it's not serving you and it's keeping you stuck, because you feel like there's some sort of stability with the traditional way, which is such bullshit. You could like easily everybody gets laid off these days, like left and right. There's no stability anymore. There's no like blue collar kind of old days. That's such a fantasy. So it just shows you that it's all an illusion. And that's what the Devil is. It just shows you all of these illusions of your fears. So not to take it so seriously, or just to really go in and see how are those unconsciously operating behind the scenes? Because this idea that you have is a really great idea. It's going to bring you so much joy and excitement, and you maybe it is going to be a lot of hard work, but it's something that you love and it's something that you want to do. Or whatever this new experience is that you're trying to chase after. There's a lot of awesome things and light pouring in. Maybe that is a direction or a place you need to go into. With this Four of Swords, there's that introspective time we need to take. First, to really sort out the noise. There's a lot of noise. All these other voices going on that seem to kind of materialize in the mind. And we need time to go within and be quiet, still those voices. See which ones are really, is this really true? And discard what's not working for you. And listen to that inner calling, that inner voice. It's like you're waking up from this too. So this person's coming out of this bubble. Maybe there was, I think of like echo chambers, like sometimes the people we're around will continuously recirculate these beliefs, and so we think that's reality. We think that's the truth. We haven't seen another way of living. So it's like you're waking up from that and saying like, oh, there is another way. There is possible. And that's what the mermaids have to say for you. It's like, yes, there's a reason why you are facing this. Facing yourself in this reflection. Look at it with all this like happy like castle behind there. It's beautiful. So yeah, you're really being encouraged to first go within and start questioning a lot of these old belief patterns. I want to read this Taking Risks card. I realized I didn't read it. So a plateau, that's what I wanted to say. When you draw this card, it is time to step beyond your normal everyday life. Take some risks, face your fears, do things in a new and even unorthodox way. That's what we were saying with the unorthodox card. Listen more to your inner voice than to the voice and opinions of others. Rather than running from your potential future, embrace it. History has shown that those willing to face failure will often succeed in a massive way later. Very cool. I love that. Okay, next. I'm going to grab a final card to just offer some guidance. It's the Beyond Lemuria guidebook or oracle deck. So let's see, what are the messages from the mermaids? Any guidance on this next leg of your journey? What's opening up? Communication, co-creation. Ooh, look at that. Look at those other energies too. With these two, I'm thinking like those guides that you're going to be having along the way. I'm seeing that support system, that community around you while you undertake that. That's really cool. Let's see what it says. Number 21. Let's see. Nonverbal communication, love language, telepathy, unique ways of communication, multidimensional information, community, coexistence, relationships, meeting our higher selves, really seeing someone, deeper listening. How are you communicating beyond words? Perhaps you are being misunderstood because there is a dissonance between your words, actions, and behavior and what you mean to communicate. Words are like spells. So be conscious of what you say, as you may be verbally sabotaging your intended meaning. Also be reminded that words can mean different things to different people. Something may be getting lost in translation. An issue may be cleared through improved communication. Listen carefully to what someone has to say without interruption. Furthermore, it may feel scary to share vulnerable truths, but this may be the only way forward. This card also encourages greater exploration in the realms of telepathy, healing, and arts such as poetry, painting, and music, where there is collective communication beyond the mind. So maybe some of you with this risk, it could be something in, maybe you want to work on something that's in the music realm, in art, poetry, or healing. It doesn't have to be. But one important takeaway I think with this is that it's also good to just get it out there. Start telling people your ideas, what you're looking at. Don't be afraid to talk about them. Because you never know. There's so many times when I've witnessed my other friends. I'm kind of just starting to learn how to do this too, so I'm with you there. Where you just start to talk about something, about an idea that you have, but maybe it's not as fleshed out yet. And then all of a sudden you find that, oh, I know just the person, or I know just the guide. Maybe that's how you find these guides, is by talking about it to other friends or family members, and they start to connect you with the connections that you need to make to get this dream to take off. And so that's where this, authentic communication comes in. It's just being really honest with yourself and be excited about that thing that you're excited about and talk about it. Other people like hearing and feeling that sense of joy. So very cool. I love that. This is really awesome. I'm excited for you, whatever it is you're deciding. All right. I hope those messages helped. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye. Take care.